Hello there, this is Griff Myers, and this is my second workshop. This one's going to be about OBS, which is the Open Broadcasting Software. This software is used by a majority of people who stream on Twitch, on YouTube, or any other of the streaming websites you might know about. It's an easy way to manage different screens, different tabs, different windows, make sure people are seeing exactly what you want them to see. So I'm going to give you a quick little walkthrough of it. Alright, so here's the website where you would download OBS. In this case, this tutorial is going to be mostly for Mac users, but some other things may apply to Windows users as well. So obviously here it says to choose your operating system. For me it's the Mac. For you it might be Linux or Windows. Just click Download Installer, and then you've got the installer. So just open that up and install it on your computer. Now for Mac users, recording desktop audio is a little different than Windows users. The function on OBS that says it allows you to record desktop audio doesn't work as well as it should. So there's been something made that can help you with that. It's called iShowU Audio Capture. So if you want to find it, you can Google it. If you really want to, you can copy the URL here. I'll put the URL in the description of the video. But this is how you would download it. This helps you record desktop audio, and I'll show you how it works in just a little bit. So you scroll down here, and you look at the instructions. Simple as that. Alright, so after you download the iShowU Audio Capture, you're going to want to go up into the top right, click on your search bar function for your Mac, and just look up MIDI, and the first thing that shows up should open up to this window. This is the MIDI audio devices window. This is where you can control different inputs and outputs of your audio devices, obviously. So you can see here I have a couple of these different multi-output devices. This is the one I'm using right now to record this. To create one, you click on the little plus sign in the bottom left corner, and it'll ask you to create an aggregate device or a multi-output device. What I use is a multi-output device. So when you create it, the different audio devices you can use will show up. What I'm using to record right now is the Scarlett Solo USB. I think it's one of the cheapest and easiest interfaces to use for something like this. If you have your own, that should show up there as well. But also you'll see the iShowU Audio Capture shows up as well, which is important to remember. You can set your master device here. You can also set the sample rate. You select the different audio devices that you want to use, and then you're good on that. After you've set up the audio devices, you can open up this, which is the system settings for sound. So after you've done that, you open it up, you select your input device. For me it's the Scarlett Solo. This is what I'm using to record, like I said earlier. And for the output, you want to select the multi-output device. So with the multi-output device, you will not only record the microphone audio, but you also record any desktop audio that you want. So music, game audio, maybe you and your friends are talking, you want to record that. That's the way you do that. As long as you have the iShowU Audio Capture selected in the MIDI screen, and it's connected to the multi-output device that you're using here, it should be able to get any sounds that come off your computer. Alright, now I'm showing you the OBS window. When you open up OBS for the first time, it'll probably look something like this, as long as you're on Mac. So starting from the left, we have the different scenes. Some of these scenes are what I use when I'm recording gameplay or when I'm hanging out with my friends. Obviously now I have the workshop one selected. So the different window capture devices and all the other things. So I'll show you what the different sources are. Audio input capture. So that's how you record from a microphone or something like that. This is the audio mixer, and these are the audio input capturing devices I'm using. So when you want to select what device you use, click there, click on properties, and then you can see it. It's difficult to show while I'm recording, but you click on that, you click on the properties button, and you can see the different microphones that you want to use. So there's a drop down window, you click, it goes down, and you select what I'm using now is the Scarlett, but you'll select whatever interface you're using, or if you're using a built-in microphone or something like that. This is the audio from the computer that I'm using. I'll show you how to use that in a little bit. After that, you got browser, which is just a browser. A display capture is what I'm using for this. Display capture is when you want to be able to see the entire display of the computer. You can select a single window for it, but your mouse will show up when you use display capture, unlike window capture, which is later on. So just capture any window you want. Now, video capture device, that's how you record with a camera. So I'm going to turn on my camera now so you can see. Alright. There I am. Hi. And you can do that with different cameras as well. I don't have any external cameras that I could hook up to this, but if I did, I'm sure there's a way I would be able to hook it up to this. I could get different angles, different sources, whatever I want, as long as I have it all set up correctly. And there's other tutorials that could get more into that online, I'm sure, as well. Obviously, you have a text box that you can put up. That's what I had at the beginning of the video. I'll have one at the end of the video that'll have my email in it in case you have any questions. A Siphon client is something else that I downloaded from the computer. So for window capture, you can capture games and things like that, but Siphon client is more focused and it's better for things like games. It makes it so games can run better when you stream them, and it's also set specifically for the game windows. I've used things like emulators before to stream games, and it knows exactly what I want to record. It's very good with that. Obviously you can select it with the window capture, but the quality isn't as good, and sometimes it'll be laggy just because you're using the generic window capture. So if you're using Mac and you want to record something like a game, I would definitely recommend downloading the Siphon client. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. And one of the last parts you have is the image, which is obviously just an image. There are a few other things in here, but they aren't as integral, and if you really want to learn about them, I'm sure there are different tutorials that'll go into the specifics. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys a little bit about how to set up your own YouTube stream. So first we'll go to YouTube, click on this button right here. You want to click Go Live. But one thing about that, if you decide to go live, usually before you do it for the first time, it's going to tell you that it needs about 24 hours or so to make sure that you're good and like kind of give you your own stream key and things like that. So if you plan on ever recording, I'd suggest try to click that button about a day or so before you actually stream, and you shouldn't have any issues. Honestly, if you ever plan to stream at all, there's no harm in just doing it after you create an account or just any day at all, so it'll be ready for when you want to stream. I just want to let you guys know that beforehand. So here you click New Stream, ask you for a title, sure, OBS Stream. Make it public or private, depending on what you want. Unlisted, which is just for people with links. Add a description, stream about OBS. In this case, I'd assume it'd be education, because I'm educating you guys. You can schedule it for later if you want, and if you also would like, you can upload any custom thumbnails or bring out all your files. You can choose whatever picture you want. Made for kids. The thing about this, it's kind of a weird selection, because it's not really made for kids. I'm not trying to have kids watch the stream or the video. But in this case, it'll be like, if yes, it's for kids, it should be like a children's video. It's not like kids could watch this and want to be offended. It's like this is specifically for kids, because YouTube aggregates content specifically for children, so they don't watch anything they shouldn't be watching, because that would be inappropriate. And then age restriction is kind of like the filler for that. So you're not making content explicitly for children, but with age restriction, you're not saying only people above 18 can watch it, or you would think it would be inappropriate for anyone under that. You create your stream. Just a minute, it should be done. There we go. So you need something called a stream key to be able to stream it with OBS. In this case, you copy the stream key. So I copied it, open up OBS. Then you would go into settings, open up the stream settings. And the stream settings, there's a bunch of different platforms you can use. Show all is a huge list of different things you can use. But I'm not using that. YouTube is the biggest one, so it shows all the big ones in that tiny little window I showed you. Then you're going to want to select whatever's in here. I have a different key in it right now, so I'll do a Control V to paste my new key. Click OK. And I'll go back to the stream window, make sure everything else is good. Normal latency, DVR, education. Alright. So we go to OBS. And really, people think it might be a little more complicated than that. It's as simple as clicking Start Streaming. And the stream should begin soon. So I'll go to my own channel. See if I can see the stream. Got the OBS stream happening right now. And remember that there's a little bit of latency, so when you stream, you might not see your screen immediately at first. I would also recommend, if you stream or decide to stream, that what you should do is you should have maybe it open on your phone, maybe on a different monitor, but you should always have a way to see your stream, or at least the comments on your stream, just to make sure that you have an eye on everything. So I'm going to click Go Live. And we are live right now. So I'm not actually planning to do anything live, but this is how you do it for the most part. As long as you have internet, you have everything else, you'll be able to go live. You won't have any issues. So I'm going to end the stream because I'm not streaming anything, obviously. And that's how you stream for the most part. Maybe a few other small things. So when you stream, you can set up something called studio mode. We're live right now. So I'm not actually planning to do anything live. We go into studio mode, which will show different scenes. And in this case, if you would want to go into a different scene, you can click on the scene beforehand. This is the program is what is currently live. So if I wanted to transition to this, I would do transition. Now the screen is black and we're on a different scene. But we want to go back to this scene we had before, and there we are. Let me think. Let's look in the settings and see if there's anything there. So yes, you can set the language, set dark. I like dark theme. A lot of people like dark theme. It's easier on the eyes for the most part. Stream, yeah, make sure you have everything there set up. There are a few different encoding things. If you use a streaming service other than YouTube or Twitch, they may have to set up, so just be sure to have a guide for that open to make sure that you're doing everything right. Here is where you set the microphone. So I talked about desktop audio a little bit earlier, but these don't really work for Mac. This is why I have the I Show You audio capture. You're gonna have to select these in the audio part, just to make sure that you can see them. Yeah, monitoring, you're using the built-in output. None of that is important. Oh yes, also it's important to set it to mono when you're recording, if you're just doing one microphone. If you're doing more than one, then there's different settings you use. Video, no issues there. Hotkeys, I don't really want any. Advanced. That should be all. So yeah, for the most part, that is how you would do something like that. That's the end of the stream. But if you have any more questions about it, feel free to email me here at my App State email. And obviously, if there's anything else you'd like, there's definitely guides online that would help you. But if you have anything specific to what I was talking about, I'm here to help as well.